The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys! This is Mick Shots, streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app. Now, here are Bill Jones, Savannah Humoller, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
Well, we've improved here. Before it was 2 out of 4. Now we're 3 out of 4 here for Mick Shots as we begin this Thursday in the SWBC podcast studio. We've got myself, Mickey, Savannah, and Everson.
Hey,
welcome back.
Thank you very much. Sold you out, Savannah.
Yeah.
I sold you out last week. I had to go out of town quickly for a few days, but I was looking forward to us kind of taking over this thing.
I was telling Mickey earlier this week, I had some people reach out to me on Twitter.
Yeah.
They were like, what happened
They
to
were
the
pissed.
Everson and
They were
Savannah
pissed.
show?
Yeah,
on
they were
Monday?
ready.
Monday was
They were
supposed to
ready.
be your show.
Boy,
right?
they were ready, man. I hate I let them down.
And by the way, Bill is on his way. Said he'd probably get here for the second segment, and what a trooper he is, because he probably took off for the airport in Phoenix this morning at about 5 a.m. their time to get here. He's already landed, and what a trooper, and I just hope he was able to take a shower. If not,
we hope so.
I don't mind the champagne drenched sweat.
That's okay?
Yeah, it's okay.
Because he was...
We know what the occasion was for.
He was soaked last night when he got in the locker room. He had his poncho on with the little hoodie. And
it never helps.
And it
never helps.
He was just, his face was soaked. It was absolutely amazing.
Eyes red from the champagne.
But you know what? I bet for him, and we'll hear from him. Growing up here in Dallas, and I don't know how big of a baseball fan you were, but for Bill to be there and having grown up a Rangers fan, to witness the first World Series victory in the Rangers' history had to be something. Because they got here in 1972, playing in that old dilapidated minor league stadium, Arlington Stadium. And I'm sure he had gone to games, and to actually witness that has got to be a really cool thing.
100%. That's incredible for Bill. I mean, it's incredible for all of the Rangers fans. I mean, it's just one of those. Last night was such a epic moment in the history for the Rangers, and just watching that, the momentum just in Dallas, everyone was just so
I think
excited.
we were still, inhaling.
Yes.
From the Cardinals series.
Right. It's like, oh, no, don't tell me they're one strike away.
I'll never forget this. My stomach hurt for a week after we lost that series, because that was game 6, right? 1 strike away.
Yeah.
And then we were so disheartened that game 7, we just knew we were going to lose.
Yeah.
And we started off and we scored first.
Oh, no, yeah.
And everybody was like, we're still going to lose.
Right.
And that's bad. I had the feeling, everyone had the feeling, because game 6 was so, it just took away from you, right? And so I think we were kind of still waiting around, for that shoe to drop again.
Let's not repeat history
we were like,
here.
we're only up 5 runs. We need more,
Well, I knew they needed more than one, right?
So it was, and last night I was with the whole family, me, Sherelle, Cameron, and Charis. We watched it together.
Yeah.
And my wife never watches sports, especially baseball. And it was so tight in the beginning. She's like, they need to hurry up and do something. I said, this is getting intense, isn't it, babe?
Right, yeah.
That's what it was. It was getting too intense
Well, I was
for her.
pointing out that
yeah.
this pitcher's pitching now.
Yeah, man.
Gallon,
Wow.
is that his name? Boy, he was good. Awfully good.
Nate Frisco.
Nate in Frisco.
I wanted to let him in. But no, we let out a big cheer at the final strike. What a pitch.
Right.
The final pitch.
I know.
Whoa.
And of all people,
Oh, my
Scores,
God.
right?
Man.
Who struggled during the season, and then he came around the last month.
That's right.
Crazy.
I didn't get excited until Simeon hit the home run.
Yes.
And then I said, okay.
And he needed that.
Yes. I said, this is it. And I jumped off the couch, And it was a good thing I wasn't on the air, okay? I think there was a word I used, one of those words you can't say on the air, right? And a good thing it was cold outside because the windows were closed, right?
Yeah.
I didn't wake up the neighborhood.
I kept having to go back and forth, bedroom TV to the den TV.
Yeah.
Because, I just couldn't sit still.
Yeah, I was up to midnight.
Yeah,
by
bet.
the way. And if anybody doesn't know what we're talking about, by the way, the Texas Rangers won the World Series, and the first in franchise history. And I was kind of celebrating them, even though I didn't grow up a Rangers fan. But I've been here, and I was covering them for the Dallas Times-Herald as a backup writer starting in '85. And so I'd been through a lot of those players that came through and a lot of the failings, and was a partial season ticket holder for a while. So
we had our superstars, too,
right,
that led us up to the brink.
Right. Yeah. And then didn't get it. And then when they finally got it, and it was kind of, I bet there were, because I did it when the White Sox won the World Series in Houston in 2005. Shed a tear, and I bet there's a bunch of Ranger fans. You're so happy, you're tearing up. And I was okay until I can't remember what station did it. They played Eric Nadell's call of the final out, the strike, right? And it just hit me that everything he's been through on the radio, doing the radio, I think he's been doing it since they got here. Or it seemed like it anyway. And he had some emotional problems this year and wasn't in the booth at the beginning of the season. Yeah. And for him to make that call and know what he has been through, it was like, okay, there goes a tear.
Good stuff.
For him.
Good stuff.
Because he... and he's so professional, and that was like the first time I think I've ever heard him kind of yell and scream.
Yeah, he got out of his comfort zone.
Yeah, which I thought too many TV people got out of their comfort zones. By the way, not the sports guys, but the local anchors were like waving their pom-poms. I thought a little too much.
Come on, man. What do you mean too much? There's no too much.
Not too much when you win a World Series.
When you win a World Series.
Yeah, it was a pretty good moment. And, it's taken – this might be the first time, especially in the newspaper business here, that during – any week of the regular season for the Cowboys that they are off the front page.
Yes.
Right.
They're I think they got pushed to page 2, 3, something like that.
With a big game coming up.
Yeah,
too.
really.
it's
almost
not
like
any other game coming
right?
up.
And then tomorrow there's going to be a parade, and it's like, oh, by the way, the Cowboys are playing Sunday in Philadelphia for a very big game. But it was a pretty neat evening, all in all. And just seeing the relief on so many people. I got to hear Tom Grieve this morning, former player, general manager. Then he did the broadcasting. He spent his whole career with this franchise. Moved here from Washington, D.C. when they were the Senators, and heard him on the radio. And it was pretty neat to, his feelings on what they finally accomplished. And he made it sound like all the trials and tribulations they've been through got washed away.
Yes,
finally.
they did.
Yeah.
They did.
Right? Especially what you just talked about, the 2011 World Series and, the series when they first got in the playoffs against the Yankees in '96 and, didn't move any further. And then to do this. He was talking about all the people that got a hold of him, and like they were celebrating, and I'm sure, it happened when the Cowboys finally broke through in '92 to win the Super Bowl, and it brought back to life the guys that had played before and won Super Bowls, right, and accomplished things. It's almost like they became front and center during the Cowboys' run there in the early '90s. So, I sort of understand that. And you had a stat for me about championship teams here in Dallas-Fort Worth, I think.
Let me pull it up. Let's see here. I was reading yesterday a couple different things after the game. So, the last title, so obviously Texas Rangers, they won last night, 2023 champs, Dallas Mavericks 2011, Dallas Stars 1999, and the Cowboys 1995. And the stat that I read was this was, I think it was Boston, that all 4 major sports teams have won a title since 95.
Yeah. So Dallas and Boston, right? And Boston did it recently with the Bruins winning and the Red Sox finally breaking their jinx, and the Patriots.
They call themselves the city of champions.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to hear. It really was hard to hear.
But it is amazing, though, since 95 that every one of these teams has won a championship. And the Rangers were the last ones.
The last ones.
So I guess we should talk about the Cowboys and the Eagles, and I'll give you a quick update. They're practicing in pads today. Mike McCarthy pointed out, heck, I should let Savannah do it. She heard the press conference. The injury report for today. Go right ahead.
Sure. We talked about Tyrone Smith, and he will still be with the rehab group today, working with Britt Brown. And we're still going to wait to see if he's going to play on Sunday. But Coach McCarthy did say that hopefully he'll be able to participate fully in practice on Saturday. That's the hope.
So that's going to be the barometer if he's able to work on Saturday. And it's not a heavy practice, but they're hoping to get him to the game with the stinger he suffered in practice last week that kept him out of the game. I did see when I was out at practice that Chuma Edoga, who they had listed as limited yesterday with an ankle, was at least in pads. So it looked like he was going to practice. Michael Gallup yesterday did not practice with an illness, but he had his pads on and he was working on the cord. So that bodes well for him being ready. J-Ron Curse was out there. He didn't practice yesterday with a toe. And so I think from an injury standpoint, they could be in pretty good shape if indeed they can get Tyrone Smith ready for the game. And the Eagles, by the way, have their starting corner, Bradley Roby. He's their nickel corner. Didn't practice yesterday with a shoulder. So we'll see where that one goes. But they seem to be pretty healthy from their starters going into the game. Got anything else on your little notebook there that you wanted to point out?
While we were still on the topic of the Rangers, Coach McCarthy, he was asked, that was the first question somebody asked him, was what does that mean for Dallas and what is that momentum even for these guys to see? And he was like, it's great. I think it's important that it maybe gives us a little luck on Sunday, but it's just something for the guys to be like, wow, like another Dallas sports team did it. So.
And by the way, they won on the road, so you go win on the road.
He mentioned the 13 wins on the road for the Rangers.
Yeah,
and
it was 11.
That's crazy, man.
11
but what does that say about the home field? Because we don't do jack at home.
Well, what happened in the first 2 series, they only played 1 game at home, right? They swept Tampa Bay, and it was the best 2 out of 3, and the first 2 were there. And then it was 3 out of 5, and they won the 2 games there, and then came home and won. And then the Astros deal, they won their 4 games in Houston, which is absolutely amazing.
It is.
Yeah.
And the other thing that was going to be kind of symmetry, the last game of the regular season when they needed to win the division, they got beat 1-0. They almost won the World Series on the road 1-0 until they erupted in that 9th inning.
I was feeling comfortable with the 1 run.
Yeah, you were.
I really was. I mean, because our pitching was doing well, and the old man Chapman, he's had his issues.
I was really worried. I was like, why?
We need him. We still need him in there. We have to get someone to fill that inning. And he made me a little nervous, but I'm glad he got his ring with us.
Yeah, finally. And then they closed it So I'll tell you what, let's take a break here, and hopefully Bill said he'd be here for the second segment of Mick Shots on Dallas Cowboys.
Bill don't need to be driving all crazy trying to get here.
Well, he's speeding up the toll line.
He basically pointed out if he was already had landed when I checked in on him, and he goes, if they get my bags to me, I'll make it in time.
I can't see Bill like driving fast, like being in a serious hurry.
Right.
I can't see him, just easy weaving in and out of traffic.
Like you and me.
Yeah, like
right?
me and you. I can't see the pickup just kind of, doing all of that.
All right. Hopefully Bill will be back when we start the next segment here on Mick Shots.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
You know that sound anywhere. It's the crisp crunch of that first nacho chip. With its perfect cheese to sour cream ratio sitting atop a layer of delicious beans, it's a sip away from perfection. That's what we're looking for. Add a delicious, refreshing Pepsi and we've achieved absolute nacho nirvana. Because while you can pile those nachos high with every spicy, cheesy, savory topping, there's no topping a cool Pepsi finish. Nachos, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Cowboys football and Miller Lite. What a pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Sunday night overtimes followed by Monday morning swagger. Brisket in the smoker. Miller Lite in the cooler. America's team playing America's greatest sport. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
Back to Mick Shots.
K-Post Roofing and Waterproofing, the official roofer of the Dallas Cowboys.
I'm glad that was brief because we want to welcome somebody.
So what's up?
It was like
what's up?
It's almost like a triumphant return from the World Series war. Bill is back
From the airport wars.
Yeah.
God, what a guy to get back from Phoenix.
Well, I would have got back for the beginning of the show, but at the airport, you fly out from Terminal B,
right.
but you don't fly into Terminal B. You fly into Terminal D.
Catch the tram,
Then
catch
you got to
the tram.
take Terminal Link over to Terminal B, and then I couldn't find my car. I'd literally reach. What I remember, this doesn't look like the same terminal I came in. After I got over to Terminal B, and then I said, "Oh yeah, I remember." I mistakenly brought my umbrella into the terminal, and so after I checked in, I retraced my steps. Like I remember that part of it. Oh yeah, I went to the lower level. Anyway.
Just take a picture.
I know it. I thought that same thing. Why didn't I take a picture? No, but it was B11. I had it in my memory.
No,
B12.
Don't even go for
like
memories.
Vitamin B12. That's how I remembered it.
Vitamin B12. Wow. I hope it helped with your memory.
But anyway, it was fun.
My mic just,
Are you muted?
yeah.
Your knees are,
Did y'all
your
watch the
legs
game?
are too short.
Oh, we
Boy,
watched the game.
Come on.
All these people, like my daughters, who haven't watched baseball since I was doing Ranger games 20 years ago, all of a sudden they start watching baseball now. And they were texting me throughout the entire game. Oh, this is amazing, whatever.
I gotta say, I was watching last night and I turned on your channel. Got to pick a view. You're walking around a little bit.
Yeah. That was with Tony Beasley, the third base coach. Mm-hmm. Yep. So that was
great.
before we went into the champagne shower.
You would have been the only one to know him. Am I still muted?
You're still muted, Spags. Golly, dude. How are your short legs able to even hit the mute?
I figured you were the only one that knew who Tony Beasley was, by the way. You had somebody else. Was it Kinsler?
No, Adrian Beltre.
No,
but he did have.
There was
prior to Nathaniel Lowe.
It was not a player. I mean, it was like
Kinsler.
a front. It was Kinsler, wasn't it?
No, I didn't talk to Kinsler. You must have been flipping around. Must have been some other station.
No, you had a guy.
I thought I saw you Kinsler too.
Yeah. It was.
Well, maybe I did. I don't remember.
It wasn't in the locker room when you had your poncho.
No, it was on the field.
It was on the field.
Yeah.
Huh.
And I said, well, Bill's the only one that knows who that is, right?
They know who Kinsler is.
Yeah, I can't. That's who I thought it was. Maybe it wasn't.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I told my family. I said we're going to have to go buy some old Texas Rangers gear and act like we've been.
Been fans.
You know what?
Fans for years.
And I forgot because I've got one of those old caps. And it was a cap, not a hat. It was a cap that was circular, and it was the logo back when they were playing at Arlington Stadium. And I was going to bring it, and I forgot to bring it this morning.
What do you do with that?
I just keep old hats.
You know, the thing about it is, because of the whole Bally Sports thing, people
I
haven't
heard
been
you
able
say
to
that.
watch this team.
I know.
I mean, because literally there's only about 1/3 of the Metroplex who, over a 3-year period, is getting Bally Sports. It was the same thing when the Mavericks made it to the playoffs, and now all the games you're seeing Luka and all the other. You knew who Luka was on the team, but all these other players, when they made it all the way to the Western Conference Final last year, and now this year, all of a sudden, this has been a fun team to watch all year, but most, 60% of the fans, even if you wanted to watch baseball, you couldn't watch it.
Which happened last year with the Stars.
Yep, the Stars, the same thing.
I got robbed of the season, and then they got in the playoffs, and I'm going, oh, that's pretty good.
So that's what needs to happen now is get this whole thing fixed where we can watch all our teams. The other thing that I'm struck by, with as much excitement as there is about the Rangers winning a World Series, can you imagine if the Cowboys won a Super Bowl, what it would be like?
We were just talking about 1995.
I'm hoping they'd be inspired. You can do that. You can do that.
Yeah.
You can be inspired by your fellow athletic organizations. And, hopefully the Cowboys will say, okay, it can be done untraditionally, because this was very untraditional. Winning on the road almost.
Oh, yeah. 11 road wins.
To get there was ridiculous.
How about a month ago, 6 weeks ago, they played the Astros at home, and they got beaten a 3-game series 39-10. It was the equivalent of the Cowboys losing to the 49ers 42-10.
They barely made it.
And Evan Carter, the rookie sensation, wasn't even on the team then. He got called up right after that series because Adolis got hurt. And so Evan Carter gets called up, and he just set the record. No one's hit more doubles in the postseason than Evan Carter did with 9.
And he had another one that they said hadn't happened since Mickey Mantle in 1952.
It might have been getting on base. He had 17
or
straight games.
Something about a rookie or something.
Yeah, it was a rookie making his debut, getting on base 17 straight games.
So you look at it, you got Seager. He did amazing things. 2 World Series MVPs. You've got Garcia.
He had 22 RBIs, which is the most postseason RBIs ever.
And he didn't even get to play the last
And he didn't play the last 2 games, yeah.
And then Evaldi.
And then you talk about Carter.
Evaldi winning 5 games in the playoffs, the first to do that.
He's a man. He's a man.
And then Bochy's name up there with all those managers.
Bochy has won 15 of the last 16 series he's managed.
That's like five people of note that have done something amazing.
And what now? 4 World Series championships.
You could hear Evaldi every time he pitches. It's like he's mad.
And where's he from? He's from Alvin, Texas.
You lying.
No, he is
He
from
is.
Alvin,
Wow.
Texas.
Yeah.
Home of Nolan
I
Ryan.
got to put these things down so I can brag on all my Texas athletes.
Well, and he
Just add more.
In fact, on the plane, I'm writing a story about how this team was like the culmination of so many of Ranger players from the past that just got thrown into the same team.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna add Nathan Eovaldi from Alvin, Texas. Now that I just thought of that.
Yeah.
But from Josh Hamilton was left-handed hitting slugger from North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Corey Seager, left-handed hitting slugger from North Carolina. Now he's got Hall of Fame consistency. Josh Hamilton had Hall of Fame talent and was wasted. And there's so many others that are just like that.
and Eovaldi, his nickname's Evo, right? Well, now it's Houdini. Just squirming out of all those bases.
That was amazing.
Guys on base. That was incredible.
And that's what made me feel good about the 1-0 lead. Mm-hmm. I thought that they were still going to grind their way to that win no matter what. And this is what I was talking about, how they can inspire the Cowboys. You know, Cowboys don't win gritty. These guys won every gritty game. They won. I mean, hey, you can't expect to win on the road. Oh, man, just watch us. You know, we're going to do it. We're going to do it ugly, too. I like that. I mean, you get hit by a pitch, you're Garcia. You hit a home run before you come back and hit the grand slam. I mean, that's just a lot of stuff going on that was so dramatic because, to me, that was the number one inspiring moment of the series was him getting hit and coming back the way he did in the series. They just lifted up everyone.
Mm-hmm. It was, yeah, and the whole thing. I mean, you mentioned.
I mean, in that Astros series, I mean that was the equivalent of the 49ers to the Cowboys right there. They
got over that hump.
Yep, and then they get hit. They had the dramatic home run by Altuve in the Game 5, and then they got to go on the road and play at Houston and win Game 6 and Game 7, and they did that.
So don't. That's why I always hated stats. Mm-hmm. You know, you got to go play by play, game by game, moment by moment, even, especially in the series.
And you know what
championship
I loved at the end too, because I'm sure the analytics in the 9th inning said you got to bring in Leclerc. And he said, you know what? My pitcher's pitching pretty darn well. I'm leaving him in there.
Well, the other thing I thought on
he
that.
He looked a little cocky at the end of the game.
Who, Spores?
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw he was prancing around that pitcher's mound.
This
guy's feeling it, man. I'm like, and the last pitch, oh my God.
You know what I thought on that is, okay, you had a 5-run lead, but if keeping Spores in,
right?
Okay, if he runs into trouble, at least you have a safety blanket in Leclerc. I mean, if you made the change and Leclerc came in, where are you going then if he doesn't have it for that? and when he's pitching the 3rd straight day,
right?
And then, boy, you're subject to all sorts of criticism at that point. You know, how can you?
He doesn't care.
No, that's right. Now, how about the fact that you got a pitcher who's pitching a no-hitter, and 10 minutes later he gives up a run, and he comes out of the game, he's only thrown 83 pitches. 83 pitches, and 10 minutes before he'd had a no-hitter in the 7th inning.
And it's like, you got somebody better than this?
And he leaves.
And sure enough, they didn't.
He leaves the game, he's like...
Yeah, that was...
Take off your professional hat, and what did it mean to you growing up?
I haven't been able to take off my professional hat.
I know. Well,
but it is.
You got an opportunity right
Go.
now.
Seriously, it's like you're so focused on what you got to do next that you don't savor the moment. At the end of we had an hour-long post-game, and after getting out of the champagne shower and everything, we had like 5 minutes to, put our thoughts together. But that was when, I was that guy who, and there's so many of my generation like this who lived here, and in 1972, when Major League Baseball came to Arlington, I remember April 15th, 1972, when I had to go to bed. It was, a school night, and Dick Bosman is starting for the Rangers against the California Angels, and listening to the radio as I went to bed at night. And then, a week later, they play the first home game, and Frank Howard, who, by the way, passed away just 3 days ago at age 87. He hit the first home run at Arlington Stadium, dead center field. That was, by the way, that team in 1972, they won 54 games and lost 100. Their leading home run hitter, guess how many home runs he hit? A guy named Ted Ford.
10.
He hit 14 home runs.
I was going to say 13. That's funny.
He hit 14 home runs to lead the team. And
Well, he was cracking.
But and then too at that old Arlington Stadium, I first got on the radio in Arlington Stadium. I and a friend, Gary Schaeferman, we went for batting practice one day, and on their pregame show they would have fans ask questions of players.
No, they did not.
Yes, and I still got a cassette tape of it. Hi, this is Bill Jones. I got a question for you.
Well, I was thinking about you because I remember when in '85 when the Bears won the NFC title game. They beat the Rams at Soldier Field, and I'd been covering them kind of majority of the season. I covered a bunch of their games. It was a great national story, right? And I was a Packers fan growing up, but it was Chicago, and I finally said, okay, I don't have to be mad at the Bears or whatever, and it was a neat story. And when they made the play, they were going to clinch the victory, and I don't know if they were getting ready to kneel or however it ended. It started snowing right at the end, and I'm going, now how fitting is this? Somebody's watching over right now, right? And I think I got a little emotional watching it, and I was just thinking of you, the opportunity to be Mr. Professional the whole way through and carrying your anchors, by the way, and you don't have to say anything. And then, what must have come over you when you saw it, other than, okay, I got to get to work now?
I felt it more in 2010. When Neftali Feliz struck out Alex Rodriguez to win that game and beat the Yankees and go to the World Series for the first time, I found myself, as the ninth inning was starting, I was walking from the auxiliary press box at the ballpark in Arlington to get in position to go on the field for the celebration, and my eyes started welling up with tears. And what you do, you think about. With baseball, it's different than any other sport because baseball is a daily thing, and it becomes a fabric of your family.
Right.
You might just go to one or two games every now and then or whatever, but it's like the radio's on with the baseball game on the patio in the summer. It's like the sounds of summer or whatever, and so it's just part of the culture, and that's what it's those family memories more so than the team itself that makes it special.
I think with like a guy my age, your age, Bill, who was your team before the Rangers?
Yankees, because Mickey Mantle played for the Yankees.
And that was the thing. We grew up, and then all of a sudden at 12, 13 years old, we got a team.
Yeah. That's right.
Because at first it was just Cowboys. Yeah. We didn't have Mavericks. We had ABA basketball.
No, Mavericks didn't come around in 1981. Stars didn't come around in 1990.
So my allegiance was always with another team. Yeah. And then here these guys come, these bums, you know, and come on, they were 14 home runs, for the leader. And it took me a long time to be, ingratiated to the Rangers
which gets back to, can you imagine the Cowboys, what it would be like when the Cowboys win it again? Because I mean, we're talking all the way back to 1960 now. It's not only the most successful over the course of a half century, but also it's the oldest franchise here in town. And all those memories. Now, my daughters don't remember the Super Bowls from the 90s, and so
wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, we're, by the way, getting ready to celebrate it again.
We'll
find out on a little bit more on
Sunday. That's right. That'll be the motivation Sunday. Right there. I mean, Mavericks made it to the Western Conference Final. Stars made it all the way this past year and almost won it all. And now the Rangers have, and so here we are.
And FC Dallas needs to win tomorrow night to stay in their playoffs.
Okay.
Right?
Hey, so how many, who else we throwing in there? Who else we got? Make some gumbo.
Sports.
Let's make some gumbo.
You know what I would like? I've been on this Ranger beat all week. I would like to know what's going on with the Cowboys this week when we come back here on Mick Shots in just a moment.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Cowboys football and Miller Lite. What a pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Sunday night overtimes followed by Monday morning swagger. Brisket in the smoker. Miller Lite in the cooler. America's team playing America's greatest sport. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
You know that sound anywhere. It's the crisp crunch of that first nacho chip. With its perfect cheese to sour cream ratio sitting atop a layer of delicious beans, it's a sip away from perfection. That's what we're looking for. Add a delicious, refreshing Pepsi and we've achieved absolute nacho nirvana. Because while you can pile those nachos high with every spicy, cheesy, savory topping, there's no topping a cool Pepsi finish. Nachos, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Back to Mick Shots.
The Salvation Army's 27th annual Red Kettle Kickoff returns to AT&T Stadium this Thanksgiving. Get excited to watch the one and only Dolly Parton rock the stage during the halftime when your Dallas Cowboys go head-to-head with the Washington Commanders. Tune in at 3:30 p.m. on CBS.
By the way, those Washington Commanders have a different look to them
Yes,
since the
they
last
do.
time I was in this studio.
That defensive line doesn't look quite the same, right?
Exactly.
Man,
Wow.
that was the strength of that team.
It was.
So when you got to talk Cowboys again, other than with us, like what do you need to know so we can get you back in?
Back up to speed.
Yeah.
Actually, I got a parade, the Ranger parade
I was
tomorrow.
thinking
I'm going to miss
ask you.
tomorrow.
I
'cause-
figured.
Yeah. And so, as soon as we get done with this, I'm doing a segment with David Moore for the Coaches Show.
There
and then
you
I'm
go.
doing the lead-ins on the Coaches Show.
Well, the only injury note you need to know, and we already discussed it, is Tyron Smith. They're hoping can practice on Saturday. And if he practices on Saturday, he'll be good to go.
Oh,
So
okay.
they're trying to get him
Well, they
to
got
the
a
game.
stinger
Got a
while
stinger.
sleeping?
Yeah, no, practicing, actually. What else you got over there, Savannah?
I've been doing a lot of studying on the Eagles this week, and they've had 8 different starting secondaries this season. And the Eagles secondary has given up 12 touchdowns with a 96.9 rate, so they're 20th in the league as far as giving up those touchdowns. So I've been just taking my notes on all of the depth chart for the Eagles and doing all the things. But I'm trying to focus on their defense a little bit as well, just matching up with our offense, what they can do. Because their coach was saying that his goal is essentially to confuse Dak Prescott. Mm-hmm. That was something I read this morning.
Shocking that
Right.
they would think of that.
One thing you see from really all quarterbacks, if you're going to have an issue, most likely it won't come from the outside. When Dak has problems, when I was looking at Kirk Cousins the other night having problems, it's always the pressure up the middle. Mm-hmm. That's what always gives you a problem. What we've been good at and what Dak has been really conscious of is keeping his eyes downfield, because the rush he knows is going to come because his offensive line has been having some issues. And he's been able to step up and out. If he can't step up, then you got a problem. If you can't step up, then that's where you get the pressure in your face, and that's where you get Dak throwing, and not just him, any quarterback throwing in the middle, and they can't see where the defenders are. If they can just keep those guys at bay up front on those two tackles, nose guard, whatever, then that gives your quarterback a chance to escape because the defensive ends are coming so far wide upfield.
I wonder if
Which brings me to Jalen Carter.
Yeah.
Because what I read before I went to Phoenix to cover baseball, Jalen Carter was going in to have an exam on his back, and then he's a full participant in practice yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, how about that?
Yeah.
And
now their full practice was a walkthrough, I think.
Right, and they've got him,
I was a full participant in their practice too.
They've got him listed as the backup to Jordan Davis, but they play both of those guys.
Right,
quite
and
a
Jalen
bit
Carter's
together,
made an
right?
impact as a rookie first round pick.
Yeah.
And so that might be one of the reasons why, we sit here and go, okay, if Tyron Smith can't play, then why don't they move Tyler Smith over there? But you've got that middle locked down with him, Biotish, and Zach Martin. And that might be in their thinking that, we can give the tackle help, which, by the way, after the first sack of the first play of the game, when Udoga got beat, I started watching, and it was like, the tight ends over there or the running backs over there. They're not going to sit there and sacrifice their offense.
By the way, that was my guy from Brown University who got him on the first sack of the game, Michael Hoyt. That was the one that I was talking about last week. First play of the game, there he goes, and then he didn't hear a word from him the rest of the day.
Although the second play of the game, and then the third play of the game, until they got the holding call, and they kind of turned things around. When you were talking about Dak and confusing him, I saw the note, and I think it was in the story from Philly, that Dak is 8-3 against Philadelphia in his career. And remember, he didn't play against them last year. He was hurt. That was the Cooper Rush game that they won.
You're talking at Philly.
Yeah. But he's 3-0 the last 3 times he's been able to play Philadelphia, with 11 touchdowns, 1 pick, and an average of 293.3 yards passing in those 3 games. So they understand what he can do to them.
And this is the first matchup between he and Jalen, right?
Yes.
I believe so. Because Jalen's, I want to say he's 1-2 against the Cowboys. And the one was last year against Cooper Rush. Yeah. But again, I think the other one was in 2020, maybe his rookie year, when he started at the end of the year, and Dak was already out for the season.
Right.
And the other thing I thought was interesting this week was, they kept getting asked, how do you practice? How do you stop the tush push, or the push tush? I don't know which way.
Tush push.
No, push
you push the tush.
Right? and basically, it was getting pointed out, and Mike pointed it out. It's like, maybe it was Micah yesterday. It was like, you can't practice that.
Yeah, he did say that. Yeah,
right. We're not going to go out there and hit each other and
see what angle we can dive in from to stop them from.
Yeah, exactly. and it's like it's not like you can practice against it.
Yes, sir. Your hand is raised, Mr. Bill.
May I clarify something here?
Go ahead.
Go, Bill.
The Dallas Cowboys played the Philadelphia Eagles on September 27th, 2021, and the 2 starting quarterbacks were Jalen Hurts for the Eagles and Dak Prescott for the Cowboys, and the Cowboys won that game 41-21.
At Philly or here?
That was when Jalen threw the touchdown, like going out of bounds, and by the way, touchdown. And he threw it to the Heisman Trophy winner, and the guy went up and caught it in the end zone.
Smith?
I think that was when they went up against each other.
The one time.
And
so that was the other time that they beat him.
Trayvon had a 59-yard interception return in this game against
I remember that.
Jalen Hurts, but Trayvon's not going to be playing.
I got an idea.
We got Bland.
That's right. Yeah.
Trayvon was in the locker room yesterday. He trickled in.
That's right, he did. You know what you need to do when they do that 4th and 1 play? They keep trying to dive over. I think when they dive over, you need to horse collar the quarterback because you can horse collar the ball carrier in between the tackles, right? That's what they need to do. Just yank them back.
Interesting.
You think I should go down the hall?
I think you should.
Give them my theory.
Mickey, you're
here?
supposed to be on the field right now.
No, they're like, hey, somebody check on Spags. I think he's going crazy.
Because, I saw that. I can't remember if it was a college play or an NFL play where the running back was going right up the middle and he got horse collar and they threw the flag. And I'm going, yeah, that's a horse collar.
Did they pick it up?
Yeah, because they said he was
within the tackles.
In the box.
Yeah.
He was within the box, and so you can do that. That was my idea. Just go grab the quarterback.
If you're going to do anything, so you have the two guys in the back, they're pushing.
Yeah.
So you got to designate stuff. You have to have a guy take him out, and then one guy take him out.
Because you got to come in from the side. Right. Yeah.
Then that's the horse. The horse collar can come from.
But if you're not going to practice it, it's kind of hard. How do you execute that?
So I guess it's just low man wins on that. They get so low.
Yeah. Oh, low man wins.
I guess it's all about the quarterback.
And you also have a quarterback
the center,
who can squat 800 pounds.
Right. And you get a center, and if his legs are that strong, it's kind of hard. They just need to get rid of the play.
Don't do that, man.
Get rid of it.
Just because you can't beat it doesn't mean you get rid of it.
Tell them Everson.
Once they lose a quarterback,
now he's looking for a quarterback to be hurt.
And then
there it is. That's the moment I was talking about.
And then they'll go, okay, we got to get rid of this play. It's dangerous. It's not safe to be doing this stuff. It's not safe to do it when you're in the middle of the field and they push from behind.
Jalen Hurts won't get hurt doing it. So that's not
somebody else.
It's got to have to be someone else to get hurt. Yeah.
Well, I think we're out of time on this edition of Mix Shots.
I think my header for Mix Shots has to be Rangers something. But why not?
Can the Cowboys duplicate the Rangers?
Right.
How's that?
The Rangers script.
Correlate.
Mm-hmm.
Road Warriors.
The script has been written.
That's right. There we go.
There you go.
There you go.
That's good.
All right.
So you're back for 2 segments.
And then I'm gone tomorrow, so I guess
Monday.
I will remind me to text you my picks to click, and I'll go down Cowboys memory lane with the Eagles
and
for
you can't put Corey Seager in any of your picks.
My favorite baseball player. And I was
Corey Seager.
And when he played the way he did in 2020, when the World Series was here,
Series
was here. I'm going. This guy is unbelievable. Yeah. Not just the way he hits, but at his size, playing shortstop.
I don't know what happened.
His brother,
but the Dodgers blew it. I don't know what happened, but they blew it.
His brother was known as a Ranger killer, Kyle Seager, with the Mariners.
Yeah,
that's right.
But now Corey Seager has revived the Rangers team.
Champions.
Its deathbed. All right, that does it for this edition of Mix Shots, and they will see you tomorrow at noon.
Go Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!